What's up, guys? So today I wanted to do a video where we talk about the ZL1 a little bit, so stay tuned. What's up, guys, and thanks for coming back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over the ZL1. I'm going to be telling you why I got it, where I got it, and kind of go over a few things that's actually done to it. So let's take a look. So her name is Zeta. She's a 2013 Camaro ZL1. And from the specs of the car, she is fully loaded for her year. She had the sunroof and she has the exposed carbon, which is a nice feature. Inside it has the Alcantara package. I love this interior. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do, but I love it. It's such a good cockpit. It's a little story time. So basically what happened was I was living in Florida and then I started a business in Oregon, and I knew I couldn't drive what I was driving at the time, which was a Cadillac CTS-V. It was a V1. I knew I wasn't going to be able to drive that in Oregon, mostly because of the snow and all that stuff, so I figured I'd sell that. And I got a car that I missed a lot. Actually, I got a step above the car that I missed a lot. I had a 2012 WRX at one point. It was the first car that I ever financed new, and probably the last car that I'll ever finance new. I learned a lot on that car, and I absolutely loved it. Loved it so much to the point where I got the exact same spec of car except an STI. And I got it in the World Rally Blue as well. So what I did was I bought it from a guy in North Carolina. So I flew from Florida to North Carolina, bought the STI, and drove the STI all across the United States to Oregon. Turns out I actually drove it back and then shipped it back there for another reason. But it turns out that when I got there, it wasn't actually as bad as everybody was saying it was. And I guess I may have overestimated the snow and weather factor. So I realized that the STI was kind of overkill. So at that point I decided to sell the car and actually get something that I was really going to love and appreciate even more. Now, if you couldn't tell, I'm a huge LSX enthusiast. So I started thinking about cars that I could get. And I was looking at G8s, I was looking at GTs and GXPs. I know there's a huge difference there. I was looking at Chevrolet SS sedans, and everything was kind of boring to me. And then I remembered, oh, why don't I just get a V2? So I had a V1, why don't I just get a V2? And I was looking at V2s, and really for what they wanted, like realistically high miles, they wanted like a $33,000 car. And it wasn't in stick, and it either didn't have the Recaros or it didn't have the Pano roof. And if I wanted a V2, I wanted to get the Trinity, which is the panoramic sunroof, the Recaros, and the 6-speed. But those are pretty hard to find too. And then it was relatively easy to find them in a coupe version. And I was like, I don't really like the coupe version, but if this is what I can get it in, it's gonna be another car that I could just experience and build. So I started looking at coupes, and then I was like, oh yeah, like, why don't I look at a 5th gen Camaro too? And I was looking at 5th gens, and I totally forgot that they came in the ZL1 trim. Now the ZL1 trim is essentially the LSA. It's basically the same LSA that comes out of a V2, but with better cooling and with a cooler lid. So I was like, that's a no-brainer. I think this is the car. I started looking for cars all over the United States, and I had no problem driving or flying anywhere because I feel like that's where you find the best deals. So the first step was to sell the STI, and thankfully I was able to sell the STI to the friend of the guy that bought my V1. So shout out to Jason and Damien. So what I did was basically we organized the selling of the STI, and Jason was going to fly up to Oregon. Jason lives in Miami. He was going to fly up to Oregon and actually drive the car back down to Florida. So I was thinking to myself, he's going to be driving that way anyway, so it would make more sense for me to probably hitch a ride with him and try to find a car along the way. So I hopped on Auto Trader and I started looking on the forums. I looked on Auto Trader, I looked all over. And this car actually showed up in Texas, somewhere in Houston, I believe, or Dallas. And it was incredibly low miles. It was 11,700 miles. I mean, it is pretty loaded for what I wanted. I would have liked the Recaros, but it just didn't come in this year. So yeah, it's fully loaded. and I got a great warranty on it, which is basically factory warranty until 2021. So I figured this was a great car. It was a bang for your buck, honestly. It wasn't going to depreciate in value, and it still hasn't. And that's another thing that I think is smart, is when you're buying cars, buy cars that you like, but also buy cars that you can play around with and not lose equity on, if anything, develop equity on. So anyways, so I got this car, and I saw it. I had the guy send me pictures, and as soon as I saw the pictures, I was hooked. I knew this is what I wanted. So we basically got together with Jason, and I was like, Jason, like, listen, dude, you're gonna be driving that way anyway, so can we just stop by Texas so I can get a new car? And Jason's a car guy, and he's not gonna say no. So again, dude, thank you so much for that. You still got a driver. So we drove down from Oregon all through California, and then across the desert, and went to Texas. So I did.
It's still recording?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. How do I know? There you go.
So I picked it up, bought it, loved it within 2 minutes of test driving it. So I bought it, and then I drove it back all the way back to Oregon, where I found a bunch of beautiful roads to really open it up on, and I feel like I really fell in love with that car. I didn't think I'd have it this long, and it's been 3 years now, and I'm just in love with it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of how I got it. I didn't think I'd keep it this long, and now, I mean, I love it. A few other people, you know who you are, you love Zeta too. I can't see myself selling it. I love this thing. So that's pretty much why and how I got the car. Now I kind of want to go over a little bit as to what's done to it. Now again, take into consideration that this car is my daily driver, but I still wanted it to have, you know, a little bit of persona to it. So visually, I haven't done much with it. I think the body is absolutely perfect, and it's amazing how big of a difference the ZL1 front fascia and rear fascia make, and these side skirts completely change the car. Aesthetically, I really haven't done much except for the ZL1 add-ons wicker bill. I threw this on, I think within a few months of owning the car. Me and Johnny Parmigiani, shout out to you, dude. We installed that thing. It was really easy, and it completely changes the rear of the car. I think it makes it look so much more aggressive. Now, pretty much everything else is performance-wise. Let's see here. So on the exterior, I loved the G2 or the G3 tires that came on this, which were super sticky and incredibly responsive. But at the same time, they were not good for daily driving, really, and they were expensive to replace for no reason when you can run 888Rs or something like that for a lot less. So under the hood, not a lot done. I have a UPR catch can, and I have a Rotofab intake. Eventually, I am going to do flex fuel, pulley, and at that point, I think I will do a 5-inch intake. But right now it's fine for what it is. I have Nitto NT555 G2s on the front and the rear. I absolutely love this tire. It hooks very well, and it's great for daily driving, not to mention that it lasts quite a bit. Also for performance, I did Texas Speed 1 7/8 headers, no cats, what are those? I'm a dog person. And I did a full Corsa Extreme exhaust. Now, for those of you that are looking to get a catback and you're considering the Corsa exhaust, it is probably one of the best sounds I've ever heard. It is so demonic when you rip it from a 50, and it just screams. Now, most of you, I know you run, you know, headers in the MPP and you do the mild to wild, and that's cute, and it does work in a sense, but really this completely changes the personality of the car 100%. Yeah, so Rotofab intake, UPR, catch can, headers, no cats, a full Corsa system, and that's pretty much it, honestly. Oh, tuned by DSM Lights. Shout out to Edgar, DSM Lights for the win. If you're in South Florida, look him up. That's pretty much it. There's really not much else to say. it's just kind of like in daily driver mode. But yeah, Zeta turned out to be way more than I wanted, and I can't see myself selling this thing. There's so many memories in this, and I've been all over the United States with this thing, really, so I can't sell her. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or want to know more about the car or want to know more about ZL1s or anything like that, just hit me up in the comments or send me a DM or something like that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for tuning in today, for getting the story behind Zeta and what she means to me. I'm really trying to grow this channel, so if you could like and subscribe, hit that subscribe button really quick. And also like the video, because I mean, I really want to pump out more videos, and tell me what you want to see. I mean, I got the C5, just tell me what you want to see. And I hope you're all staying safe in this quarantine. I'll catch you later.